In the Bible, there's a whole group of people known as eunuchs. In the ancient world, in many places, there were eunuchs. The broadest definition is these are non-procreative males. And there's some excellent scholarship that's out there by Dr. Janet Everhart, who's looked into eunuchs and has helped me a lot to understand them. Now, often eunuchs were castrated. And that meant that their testicles were removed, and in some cases, their testicles and their penises. Sometimes this happened in war, and people received this as a punishment or before they went into slavery. But very often, people were made eunuchs against their will as young boys. And as a result, they never experienced puberty like the other males around them. They retained high voices. They didn't get the facial hair and the body hair that comes with the testosterone, the prominent brow. They looked and sounded different from the men and women around them. In the ancient world, there was men, women, and eunuchs, this other. And they appear in many places in the Bible with multiple roles. And if you want to get a picture of the secret lives of eunuchs, I suggest you go to the book of Esther. In the book of Esther, it's fascinating because there are 12 named eunuchs, and they are completely essential to the plot. You take these eunuchs out of the 11 chapters of Esther, and the whole story falls apart before the end of chapter 1. They're really important. So I want us to look at the story of Esther from the perspective of one of the eunuchs in the court and see what happens in this hidden world of eunuchs. Oh, you've come at the perfect time. No, it's been absolutely crazy here in the court of Xerxes. Xerxes, the king. That's his Persian name. You probably call him something different. Most people do. No, it's been crazy. And of course, it was up to the eunuchs to fix everything because that's what we do. Yes, I am a eunuch here in King Xerxes' court. Ironically, they call me He Guy. It's my Persian name. The trouble started about 7 years ago. Xerxes got it into his head that he wanted to have this blowout party and invite everyone who is anyone from his entire kingdom, which extends from India to Ethiopia. Size queen that he is. Of course, it was up to the eunuchs to make the magic happen. They put me in charge of the decorations. Oh, the banners, the tapestries, the hanging gardens. We're going to be talking about this party for a long time. The celebration lasted for a full 6 months because here in Persia, when we party, we don't play. It was a huge success, so much so that once we packed everyone up and cleaned the place, Xerxes decided to have a second celebration to honor all of the officials of the court, from the lowest to the highest, and I am one of the highest. This celebration lasted for 7 days. On the 7th and final day of the celebration, Xerxes was with his drinking buddies drunk off his royal throne when he summoned me to his side. Almighty, exalted, and really inebriated Xerxes, how may I serve my king? He wanted me to go into the harem to fetch Vashti, the queen. She's gorgeous. He wanted to parade her in front of some of his male guests. Well, I tried to explain to him that Vashti's not into that whole thing, but you cannot talk sense to the king. So being a eunuch, as I am, I have pretty much unfettered access into every part of the palace, including the women's quarters. I guess they figure that since I'm technically weaponless, that somehow I'm not interested. And we'll let them continue to think that now, won't we? So I went straight into the queen's quarters, right up to the queen, said, "Oh, Vashti, huge problem with the king." "What's that?" "Yes, he's been drinking again. I know. We need to do that whole intervention thing you've been talking about. But here's the deal. You are gorgeous. The king would like you to do a little walkthrough. In, out, 5 minutes. You don't have to say a word." She would have none of it. She said, "I am no plaything to be dangled in front of these men. I've got a heart. I've got a mind. I've got ideas for this kingdom." I completely agreed with her. I just didn't think it was the best political move to make. So I asked her, Vashti, sweetheart? Is that your final answer? That's what I thought.